Well, history was made along the Oregon coast this weekend. A surf spot in Lincoln City played host to the state's first ever professional surfing competition. In this 2 exclusive, K2's Tim King brings us some incredible views of the action at the coast.
They're like 20, 25-foot faces, light offshore winds all day. You know, the competitors were blown away by the quality of the wave. You know, they're all saying it's, some of them were saying, these are world-class athletes saying it's the best tow sessions they've ever had.
Waves reaching heights of 30 feet set the stage for the first international tow-in surfing contest at Nelscott Reef off Lincoln City. These waves aren't the kind a surfer paddles into. Instead, Wave Runner watercraft launch the surfers into the waves.
On towing, it's deceptive because you're getting into these waves with speed, you know, behind the Wave Runner, you're releasing and you're already on top of the wave. So you don't realize how big it is. You know, you're just, you know, you're running for your life a lot of times, but you don't realize how big it is until you take the hit.
Most surfers Sunday avoided the big hit. Instead, they took advantage of near-perfect conditions to put on a show that drew participants from all around the world.
I think the climate, you know, 20 years ago used to be, you know, keep the Californians out of here, you know, these are our waves and all that. I think the climate has changed, and you know, there's nobody owns anything. You know, it's the ocean's there for everybody.
30 surfers competed in Sunday's international event, with a pair of brothers from Santa Cruz taking home the honors.
Jake and Zach Wormhout got first. Shane Desmond, Tyler Fox got second. Peter Mell, Anthony Tashnik got third, and Jeff Clark, Mike Brummett got fourth. Jason Garding, who's only been towing with me for 2 years now, held his own. In the individual scoring, he came in 8th.
How big were the waves?
They were about 20-some-foot faces, rarely some 30-foot. It wasn't that big. It was high performance though. It was fun, a lot of fun. I can't believe everything came together. I mean, that was the story going around. How is that all gonna? The stars are gonna have to align for this thing to work, you know.
In Lincoln City, Tim King, K2 News.
In tonight's stories from the front, Oregon soldiers versus the Taliban. Only on 12, SalemNews.com's Tim King reports on how forces are attacking U.S. bases.
Soldiers at an American combat base in the Kunar province of Afghanistan called Camp Joyce run a tight ship. Only 6 Americans operate this facility as embedded training team members. They train and fight with soldiers from the Afghan National Army.
As Snow Cap Mountain is, we've been hit with 107 rockets, been launched there.
Major Fernando Rodriguez is the commanding officer of Camp Joyce. He works closely with ANA forces in coordinating the base mission, and he says it is not unusual for Taliban forces to use mortars as well as rockets when attacking their remote outpost. Sergeant Major Kemp Friend deals with the clash of cultures. Not only do the Americans and Afghans have to work together, but they also have to squash old ways left behind by a recent occupying army. The damage that the Soviets dealt Afghanistan is still visible everywhere in this country. But backward ideologies left by the Russian communists are slowly beginning to fall into the background. And that is happening in part because of people like Lieutenant Dan Houerdine, who work closely each day with the Afghan army.
Not only do we fight side by side, we're friends. I mean, not only are we soldiers beside each other, not only have we been in combat together. We may be from 1,000 miles away, but in our hearts we're the same people.
This is a base that's frequently attacked at night. There's a good reason, too. Pakistan border is about 2 miles behind me. Around 9:45 p.m., American gunners laid into suspected Taliban position. Using 2 .240 machine guns and a .50 caliber, these soldiers lit up the night with tracer rounds, hoping to silence Taliban activity, which has been reported for the 2nd consecutive day on the hillside. The Army team at Camp Joyce is on the verge of being replaced by a company of U.S. Marines. The base is named for Marine Lance Corporal